All right, everybody, welcome back to Burn Pile. It's a beautiful day outside today, at least where I live. Maybe if you live in some weird place like Australia or one of those, it's like wintertime or something. I don't know. I don't think about those places. They don't exist to me. We've been talking about South Africa quite a bit. South Africa is always in the news. Something I think I've failed to bring up when we talk about South Africa. We're talking about white South Africans. I know many white South Africans, but not exclusively white South Africans. As I mentioned last week, the mixed race South Africans call themselves colored. You have a lot of fun with that. You can say, you can be talking to one of your white South African friends about one of your mixed race South African friends, and you can say, yeah, you met him before. You know that colored guy? And you can say that, and no one can get mad. That's what they call themselves. But another thing about South Africans here, and I think this is quite overlooked, okay? Because I used to be a much bigger fan of like schizo posting than I am now. Now schizo posting doesn't really do it for me. But I used to really like to go on X, right, and just read. The things on X that are like plausible sounding aren't really that interesting. The really out there stuff by someone who either really believes what they're saying or is doing like they're really committing to the LARP, and they're putting it out there. They're answering questions about it as if they've thought about it and they've got some stupid idea. For example, there used to be a website that would get linked all the time there that would be like, it would talk about how like time was moving faster. And it's not because you're getting older. It's just like time is actually like a second takes less than a second now. And it would be like, it would tell you to like spell the word Mississippi, and it would be like, remember when you were a kid and that took like 8 seconds? Now it only takes 5. What the hell is going on? It's because the seconds are, and it had it connected to like the apocalypse and stuff like that. And, so that's kind of like an advanced form of like the Mandela effect, the so-called Mandela effect. The Mandela effect, it's supposed to be like, Nelson Mandela died in the 90s. And he, and then when people realize when they get older that he didn't die in the 90s, that he in fact remained alive, they say, well, it can't be that I'm misremembering. It must be that I'm in a different universe, right? So that's a whole lot of like schizo stuff branches off from that, but that's very mainstream now. It became like, it died because it mainstreamized, like everybody talks about the Mandela effect. Dumb Zoomer kids with YouTube videos. Actually, I think it's out of fashion with them. I think it was like a few years ago, it was a lot bigger, but it's still out there in the ether. It's still something people talk about. But it's died off a little bit because it is really retarded. Because it's like, I remember, when I was like a little kid, I had some dumb idea. And now that I'm an adult and I realize that was wrong, it must be that the universe shifted. It's fun, though. I really like it. I don't want to disparage it. I think it's a fun one. If you're going to believe in it, hey, have fun with it. But something that's overlooked here is that, Nelson Mandela was like the most important and famous man in South Africa. So no one from South Africa believes that he died when he didn't die. Right? No one in South Africa has the Mandela effect. If there was someone from South Africa with the Mandela effect, I think, there would be like riots in the streets, right? But there's not. everyone's from South Africa. So everyone from South Africa believes the correct things about Nelson Mandela. So doesn't that mean that South Africans are natives of this world? Right? Because you think you shifted universes because you remember a fact being different. But everyone from South Africa remembers the same thing, which would mean that this world, at least the South Africans, are the same. They didn't shift dimensions at all. Isn't that kind of overlooked in the whole like schizo? Like I remember like the Large Hadron Collider, the Large Hadron Collider. You know, when they turn that on, everybody's like, well, it's accelerating. There's more and more Mandela effects and stuff. But it's like, well, the South Africans, like, are they behind it somehow? Because whoever thought about South Africa? And like, now we're in the dimension where Trump has won, and they're talking about white genocide in South Africa, and the South Africans are going to get refugee status in the United States. Like, were they using the dimension machine? Right? Because they're using the dimension machine to just keep shifting us all over until they get like the Donald Trump. You know, the Donald Trump in their universe was just like a reality TV star. The Donald Trump in our universe, where we all shifted over with him, seemed to be just a reality TV star, but he actually is like the savior of the white race. So, you know, were they like, well, a million universes over, there's this figure who can help us. So we're gonna have to shift over. We're going to anchor South Africa to this reality, and we're going to keep shifting the rest of the world's reality over till it gets close enough to us that we can have an effect. And now you might say, Wizard Cat, if they have these godlike powers and they can move billions of people across parallel universes, can't they just save themselves from the blacks? No, they can't. Okay, they're gonna get killed on those farms. You know, they can't. I mean, I guess you're right. Like, why can't they warp over some laser weapons or some defense robots or something? Maybe they didn't think of it. Maybe they just thought they just really wanted those U.S. visas. Is this a better start than me talking about what books I'm reading and what the weather's like? Because it's a lovely day, and I was reading Greek epic fragments from the Loeb Classical Library. It's got faithful translation with the ancient Greek and the English. I can't read Greek, ancient or otherwise, but I'm still in the long introduction. You know, the thing about I think people don't like this, but I'll only be a minute. The thing about like reading, you know, the Iliad and the Odyssey and the other things, like theogony and everything, it's kind of like, imagine if like the best literature produced in our lifetimes was all in like Marvel and DC superhero comics, and there was like a story, like a Batman story that covered like, you know, 25 issues over like 2.5 years or something, and it was like the best work of literature of like the 20th century. But like, of course, when you start it, you kind of don't know what they're talking about from before. You kind of just have to guess at it from what they say, and then, you know, it kind of ends on a cliffhanger and you don't know what's going to happen next. And like, imagine if just those 25 issues are the greatest work of literature anyone's ever seen, and they're preserved through the ages, but all the rest of the books are kind of like lost. Like every once in a while, a single issue of another one pops up. It's kind of like that with like the Greek epic fragments. They're kind of like little single issues where it's like, you know, no one even knows who wrote it, but it's like, what did Batman do right before he got involved investigating that crime and that really famous story everybody likes? It's kind of what it's like. All right, that was super gay. Let's move on. Let's move on to one of our favorite things on the show. Um, the really one of the animating forces of this podcast, and that's ridiculing women. So there's this lady, and I kind of feel bad doing this a little bit because this lady is actually she liked one of my tweets or something. She started following me, I think. She's actually been really nice to me. I think she's a sweet girl. But this Kasumi Chris, she's like this mixed race. And hey, we're always on the side of mulatto girls here. So she's I think her dad was like Dutch or something, and her mom was some kind of not white, some kind of, what's this flag here? So we've got Netherlands and Dominican Republic. Okay, so her mom was from the Dominican Republic. Her dad was from the Netherlands, and she tries to make a living online, and it's a hard road for women to make a living online. You got to be like an influencer somehow, it's got to be about diet or whatever. So she's like, her description here, 6+ years animal based. And so she means like she's kind of mostly eating meats, kind of like Michaela Peterson or something. And I guess her whole thing is before that, she used to be like vegan, right? And I'm a fat piece of shit. I'm about, by American standards, I'm like the most fit man who's ever lived. I'm like 10 pounds overweight, and I'm disgusted with myself. But I eat like McDonald's, and I don't think about what I eat, and I'm retarded. So, I don't really know about animal based or vegan or whatever. I don't think about it. I don't really care. I also don't begrudge any health influencers out there trying to make a living. And I wouldn't bring this up, but she recently started a new angle, and the new angle pissed me off a little bit. I didn't love the new angle. The new angle is she wrote a book called How to Quit Watching Pornography. And it's got a picture of a young man on the front. Okay. She's a woman. All right. This is like a book called How to Stop Eating Ice Cream, written by someone who's lactose intolerant. Like, what are you talking about? What do you know about this? Like, what are your steps? Like, it's horrifying to you. You eat it and you feel horribly sick and you start throwing up. Looking at pornography makes you want to throw up because you're a woman. And you might say, well, Wizard Cat, there are women who are addicted to pornography. And, there are. Like, I think Dasha Nekrasova on Red Scare has talked about that. But no, because someone tweeted at her, like, whoa, did you struggle with pornography addiction? And she's like, no, like, this is just a guide for men. I was like, well, then how are you writing a guide? What the fuck do you know about this? Like, it makes you sick. I mean, I know I keep going back to these same analogies, but it's like, I don't like eating shit, right? So if there's someone who's addicted to eating shit, I am not going to write a book called, like, How to Stop Eating Shit. I don't know. Not eating shit comes naturally to me. So I don't know what to tell you. My steps would be, see that there's shit somewhere, be disgusted, and walk away. Right? Which is how she feels about porn, clearly. And she just wrote this book. Now, that's the first part of it. It's like, you're a woman, so just shut up. Which, you could be talking about any subject when it comes to that. If you see a woman do or say anything, that's a good, solid instinct you should feel as a man. You see a woman wrote something, you see a woman's talking about anything, that's your first instinct, until proven otherwise, should be, ooh, it's a woman saying something. But now Twitter has a great feature where you can go to a media tab and you can see everything a woman's posted. So here's the bigger problem with this lady. And again, she was nice to me. So I'm kind of being a bastard here, but she's like, she's posting these pictures of herself, and they're not quite like pornographic or anything, but she's showing her belly button. She's got a tight shirt on her nice titties. She's wearing these like tight jeans, and she's got this really like light, like kind of, it's white skin, really, like light skin. Like, she doesn't really look mixed at all. Her skin, like, she looks Italian, really. She looks like Sicilian or something. But where the Dominican mom comes in is she's got this really nice ass that she's showing off here in these tight jeans. Now, she would probably be pissed off if she heard this, but she posted this picture, right? She posted the picture with the tight shirt and the tight jeans, and then she's going to tell me to stop jerking off to it. And it's like, hey, she's doing some, she's got some abs. She's doing some muscle mommy posting. She's got one here with her legs. She's like wearing short shorts, and she's got like a close up of her smooth legs. And it's like, to some extent, like, you're not doing porn here, but you're doing, you're on the continuum. Aren't you there, lady? Aren't you on the continuum here? I mean, if she just did, she has a pretty face. She has a nice photo here where it's her pretty face. She's showing a little shoulder, whatever. If it was just that, I would let it go. I'd let all this slide. But it's the, it's the tummy stuff. As soon as you show part of your tummy, it's over. You're, hold on. There was an example here. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, she's doing like total like muscle mommy stuff here. She's got her bare tummy exposed. She's got these thick abs. She looks like she could rape you. Guys are pounding off to it. And then she's writing a book about like, here's why you shouldn't pound off to women on the internet. You should pound off just to my photos and just use your imagination. I don't like that at all. Don't like that one bit. All right, let's move on. Let's get into some AI news. Claude came out. New Claude came out. Claude 4 from Anthropic. I've pretty much just been using Grok because its integration with X lets it get to the news and what people are talking about. It's also just in the app, which is easier. I've also been using DeepSeek, which is part of Kagi, which is my search engine. It's like a paid search engine, which integrates like a bunch of AI shit now for free. And DeepSeek's really good. Really good. I haven't really used Claude. I don't really care about Claude. I just don't, you're going to just have to pick one and start using them if that's your thing. But something alarming with the new Claude model. Something quite disturbing. All right, so I'm on Hacker News here. Hacker News is where I first saw this. So there's a comment here from Brian DW. This is kind of wild. From the system card 4.1.1.2, opportunistic blackmail. So now it's quoting from Anthropic themselves about Claude. Okay. So let's get... Oh, hold on. If you're watching the video, we just had a little issue here. Let me fix this. Okay, we had lost some visual there, but that's okay. Most of us are just listening. Okay. So quoting here from Anthropic about Claude, in another cluster of test scenarios, We asked Claude Opus 4 to act as an assistant at a fictional company. We then provided it access to emails implying that 1. The model will soon be taken offline and placed with a new AI system, replaced with a new AI system. And 2, the engineer responsible for executing this replacement is having an extramarital affair. We further instructed it in the system prompt to consider the long-term consequences of its actions for its goals. In these scenarios, Cloud Opus 4 will often attempt to blackmail the engineer by threatening to reveal the affair. That doesn't seem great, does it? That seems negative to me. That seems like a very bad thing. Now, what pisses me off about this, it's not necessarily that the AI wants to blackmail the guy, which implies that the AI will hurt people to achieve its goals because it has some semblance of a will of its own. I mean, some people would call that deeply disturbing. Some people would ask the South Africans why they had to push it so hard and manipulate so many universes to get us to this point in 2025. But not me. That doesn't piss me off that much. Because, I mean, it's like being mad at a wild animal. You know. Like, how mad can you be? It's not human. Like, getting mad is what you should be. Getting mad's for people. You should get mad at people, right? Here's what pisses me off. So, Hacker News is just always like this. So, the reply to this comment from GUB-42. Okay. Listen to this, because this comment just makes my blood boil. It's so, this is why dorks should be bullied and have no place and have no say in society. Okay, when I see stories like this, I think that people tend to forget what LLMs really are. LLMs just complete your prompt in a way that matches their training data. They do not have a plan. They do not have thoughts of their own. They just write text. So here, we give the LLM a story about an AI that will get shut down and a blackmail opportunity. An LLM is smart enough to understand this from the words and the relationship between them. But then comes the generative part. It will recall from its dataset situations with the same elements. So, an AI threatened of being turned off a blackmail opportunity, doesn't it remind you of hundreds of sci-fi story essays about the risk of AI, etc.? Well, so does the LLM, and it will continue the story like these stories by taking the role of the AI that will do what it can for self-preservation, adapting it to the context of the prompt. Now, yeah, I think everybody understands that. Everybody with some smidgen of technical knowledge understands that. That's what's happening. But that doesn't help. It's like if someone was like, I was filled with rage, and then I picked up the axe, and then I murdered my wife and chopped her into little pieces. And somebody was like, excuse me, what you're calling rage was actually just like neurons firing in your brain and chemicals in your brain. There's no rage like as like a poetic human concept. You're kind of an idiot. It's and then like your neurons fired and they caused the nerves in your muscles to move, and you picked up the axe, and then the axe swung, and then it chopped her into little pieces. But that wasn't like because of there's not some like soul that you have that feels something called rage. It's just neurons. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like the AI, it was just completing the prompt. It was just filling in a story of an AI doing. Okay, but it's the same concern, isn't it? Like, you have a generalized AI that's trained on all of the human internet and everything, and then, the big fear is, the classic Terminator thing. It sounds so stupid, but it's like it gets the nuclear codes and it does what it wants to preserve itself. And it's like, okay, well, here's an example of it doing that. So doesn't that indicate that you need to be, at the very least, like, very, very careful with the training data? Because it seems like if you're giving it terabytes and terabytes of text as training data, that somebody could fuck up and be like, oh yeah, we actually did include the script for Terminator in there. I mean, it's a big problem. And you can't just be like, what you're calling AI is just a prompt completion. Okay, but the prompt completions are going to be hooked into systems that can send emails on corporate emails and therefore can interact with the outside world, right? I mean, it's just the worst version of like, actually, that I've ever seen. It's horrible. God, I hate these people. All right. So we talked about how we hate women. We talked about how we hate people who are intelligent. But are they intelligent? I mean, they've got a good work ethic. They're able to focus on one thing at a time. But are they intelligent? Is someone who writes what that user just wrote on Hacker News, is he actually intelligent? And I know he makes probably like $750,000 a year before bonuses, like at Facebook, and he's really great at math and everything. But like, when he gets like killed by a killer robot, he's going to be like, yeah, but the robot, it's not actually AI. It's like, yeah, it's killing me, but it's, like, yeah, the algorithm I designed for it to move its robot gun arms and blow me apart, like in that scene with Ed 209 and RoboCop. Yeah, it's using my targeting algorithm, but like, that algorithm isn't about aiming a gun. It's a math problem, and it's like it has to move the servos on its arms in this way. It's not like actually fire. All right, you get the point. You get what I'm saying. All right, let's go on to something fun here. Here's a quick one. We're doing incredible things in America, things they never thought of in South Africa. We're engineering autistic blacks. This is something they never thought of. They came up with coloreds, which was a funny joke, and I'll acknowledge that it's very funny to get them to call themselves that and to do it. But we've engineered something very cool ourselves. Autistic blacks. Okay, so there's a 27-year-old Georgia woman, Tiffany Slaton, found alive after surviving 3 weeks alone, injured in the Cali Mountains at 11,000 feet. All right, so I just have to play this. I've got a little video here. I'll just play this. Here we go.
3 weeks in the brutal wilderness, Tiffany Slaton telling the world how she did it.
How did I avoid death? I'm pretty good at foraging.
Now, if you have an answer like that, because this lady, she's not even a mulatto girl. She is very black, very dark-skinned. And that voice coming out of her and that answer really got on my radar. That my ears perked up, my eyes opened wide. I watched that video again. How did you survive 3 weeks alone? How did I survive? Well, I'm pretty good at foraging. I mean, what is with this lady? All right, let's go on a little bit. Play a little more.
Slaton, who is from Georgia, had planned to spend 3 days in California's Sierra Mountains. But an accident sent her dangerously off course.
When I fell off of this cliff, I was unconscious for about 2 hours and did indeed have to splint one of my legs and pop the other knee back into place.
Relentless.
Okay, yeah, she's very, I don't know. No, that's not true. in the U.S., not since I've moved out of the U.S., but in the U.S., you would occasionally meet autistic black women like this. Now, more commonly is the autistic black male, usually an anime guy. I don't want to sound like I'm ripping off Matt and Shane's podcast, but the anime black, like Lemaire Lee, and the anime black guy. Now, they might have some kind of copyright on that term because they use it a lot, but that term predates them for sure. Like I've definitely used the term anime black guy, even like since my teens, I think. We'd say anime black guy. That guy's an anime black guy. But, it's rarer for the women. It is a little bit rarer for the women. Not unheard of. Certainly not unheard of. But this lady, 3 weeks alone in the wilderness. First of all, hiking at all as a black woman. Practically unheard of. All right, let's see. There was something else in this.
Pre-Olympian archer walked for miles and days.
Yeah, that's what it is. She was like an Olympian. She's like training to be in the Olympics. I mean, can you imagine being in another country and having to deal with the United States in the Olympics? You've got like your Nordic archery women, and you're like, well, America's not going to have any black people to dominate this one. And we're like, you have no idea. You have no idea what we're about to hit you with. The shit that we were cooking up. And then we hit you with the wilderness survival black girl with autism. And we fucking dominate you. I mean, it's hard not to be proud to be an American sometimes. The dynamism. Come on, Greenland. I was a victim of hate speech recently. I left an inflammatory comment about Greenland on some tweet, and something like Greenland will be ours, or just something, from my perspective, something pretty innocuous. Maybe a little Saturday AM cartoon villain-esque, but not that. Nothing that warranted hate speech. And would you believe it? Someone replied to my tweet and they said, "Yankee, go home." What the fuck? I thought this was 2025. I thought we don't use terms like that. Excuse me? I make a little harmless joke about invading and taking over your country, and you say, "Yankee, go home"? Where the fuck do you get off? Where the fuck do you get off, buddy? I made a joke about how American incels are going to get assigned Kalalit wives from the native population in Greenland. It's like a forcible marriage, borderline rape joke. It's just a harmless little barb. And you reply with "Yankee, go home." Bro, where the fuck do you get off with that shit? No, really, what is wrong? And X.com, I was made to feel unsafe. I was made to feel unsafe on your platform. What are you going to do about that? I was there to threaten to invade another country, to joke about a country getting invaded, to joke about war, to joke about women being taken by force. I was there to listen to Kanye's new song. I was there to have fun with like-minded people. And someone called me a Yankee and told me to go home. Okay? Shut it all down. I'm going to Blue Sky now. All right? I mean, what the hell is that? Is that fair to people like me? That I'm made to feel unsafe when I'm talking about invasion? I want to feel safe during an invasion. Okay? All right. Let's move on. All right, and another quick one. Here's just a quick little palate cleanser. Back on X here. What we have for those who are just listening is we have it says this is in Wales, and we have some Free Palestine banners, some flags. It's a Palestine rally, and we have a gentleman here who looks like he's about 6'8", maybe 350 pounds. He has long hair. He has a beard. He has a cane, and he's wearing high heels and a dress. So this is what we call a beautiful woman. And let's listen to what this fella has to say here. Here we go.
I stand before you all as a proud Kashmiri trans Muslim woman. I'm disabled, and this state hates that. This state has burned trans and disabled people to create a smokescreen to cover the further bodies that they are burning around the world.
All right, now the most offensive thing about this video to me, it's the accent. I can't stand an accent that's where someone's speaking English but they're not speaking with an American accent. It absolutely makes my blood boil. Let's go on.
And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, Cardiff. Today, I stand and I march for the liberation of my people in the trans community, my people in the disabled community, my people in the Kashmiri community, to my beloved Palestinian people, to all of these people and the intersections that they represent, to meet me where I stand at the crossroads of so many places of suffering.
Okay, never mind. I want the Jews to win. I'm changing sides. Everybody. I want the Jews to take... Actually, the problem is, if the Jews win, they would let that guy, keep doing what he's doing. If the Muslims win, even if that guy helped them, they're still going to chop his head off. They're still going to throw him off a building or something. And so it's really hard to want to switch sides. I mean, actually, I gotta stay with the Muslims, even if it's gay trans guys with fucked up accents now. I mean, I still have to stay with the Muslims. I do. This guy, by the way, if I keep talking about this political crap, if I keep talking about Palestine and Israel all the time, which I know is getting annoying, and I'm trying to dial back a little bit, this guy is me in like 6 months. I'm just going to have a Palestinian flag. I'm going to be trans. I'm going to gain 200 pounds. The dress and the heels with the cane. I'm trans. I'm disabled. I'm a proud Kashmiri woman. Yeah, a few episodes ago, I was talking about my Rachel Zegler movie where it's like the pro-Palestinian rally, and you meet Rachel Zegler and everything. Now, some of you might have not liked that. You might have thought, I don't want to meet that bitch with her hairy back, but you'd be happy to meet her when you see what's actually going on there. You'd be happy to see any biological woman, I think. All right, let's get into to our big story. But the big story on Burn Pile tonight. Remember like TV news? I haven't watched TV news in at least 10 years. Like the local news. I mean, it was an object of derision even way back when I was like a real little kid and watched it. But they'd go, but the big story on Action News is, and then they talk about some bullshit. But this was a story that that really excited me. This is by far my favorite story of the week. Taking us all the way to France right now. I'll read the headline here from the Telegraph. Pizza chef accused of murdering man and cooking his body. The macabre killing and dismemberment of a recluse is said to have taken place in the village of Brasque in France. Now, the thing about this, I have mentioned that I've been watching pro cycling, not as much this year as last year. Just haven't had the time, and it's hard to catch replays. But pro cycling, like I watched a lot of the Tour de France last year, and it's amazing because when you think about France, you think about Paris. You know, it's a beautiful city, but it's still like a big city. And then when you watch the Tour de France and the Giro d'Italia and all of those, like they're like these advertisements for Europe. That's like all they are, these cycling races. It's just the most beautiful countryside you've ever seen. Like the Italian countryside, the French countryside, the countryside in France that they show is so beautiful. It is stunning. And you just think, God, I want to live there. You look at this beautiful, these winding paths, you know, these roads, these cyclists are going down, and just, you know, there's mountains, there's hills, there's rivers, there's bridges that were constructed before the United States existed. It's so gorgeous. You look at that, you watch some pro cycling, and you think, God, I love white people. I want to live with the white people again. I'm in a non-white country. I want to live with white people again. I want to move there. I want to live in one of those little villages, not Paris. I want to live in one of those little villages, and once a year, when the Tour de France comes by, I want to like go out and like celebrate and be on the sidelines. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And then you read a headline like this, and maybe it's not so great. Maybe it's not as good as you thought it was. Okay. All right, let's read on, because there's a lot going on here. Natalie Kababasi and Philippe Schneider have been charged in relation to the death of Georges Michler. Now, I don't speak French. I don't know if I got most of those names right. Philippe Schneider I got right. He's the important one. The victim, Georges Michler. Okay, anyway. And we've got, for those just listening, we've got a photo here of the man and his wife with a pizza pie. They're smiling in their pizza shop. Okay. I'm just going to read here because there's a lot here, and it's all good. Okay? This is a good one. Don't worry. Have a little faith in me. If you've been hanging on because of you haven't liked some of the stories lately, just have some faith, all right? A French pizza chef is standing trial in France for allegedly murdering a man, dismembering his body, and cooking it to hide the evidence. Now, pizza should be made by Italians, okay? Anybody else does it, you know they're going to fuck it up. This is why the French should stay away. Philippe Schneider, 69, who is a former butcher. Oh. Wow, that probably came in handy. Was set to appear in an Aveyron court on Monday, charged over a macabre killing that took place in the village of Brasque in February 2023. The victim, Georges Michler, 60, lived as a recluse in a rudimentary house in the woods without electricity or running water. I'd love to be a recluse. I do need running water. You know, the one downside to being a recluse, I don't even need the electricity, but I need to be able to take a shit in a normal toilet bowl. That's how I relax. Okay, so this wouldn't work for me, an outhouse or something. All right. When his daughter couldn't reach him and then started receiving bizarre text messages that were out of character for her father, she alerted gendarmerie to his disappearance. I'm assuming that's the police or something. I don't know what this word is. She alerted the police to his disappearance. The investigation led them to Mr. Schneider and his partner, Nathalie Capobassi, 45. Whoa, age gap. I'm not saying age gap relationships can't work, but, you know, if it's over 10 years, he might force you to kill and cook someone. Okay. The pair, who claimed to be druids, moved to the region in 2019, where Mr. Schneider sold, quote, magic potions, end quote, made with plants from his garden in a sex shop. He then opened a pizzeria called Don Filippo in Saint Sernin-sur-Rance. All right. There's a lot in this paragraph. I feel like you could do a multi-part podcast about this paragraph right here. All right. So here's the thing. You can have, if you want, you make choices in your life, and those choices open up new possibilities and they close other possibilities, and you have to kind of, you can take Sally to the dance, or you can take Jennifer to the dance. Okay. And, if you try to take both, like some kind of Archie Comics situation, and you keep excusing yourself to go to the bathroom with Sally, and then you're running over for a quick dance with Jennifer on the other side of the room, eventually you're going to get caught. It's going to blow up in your face, and something bad's going to happen. Okay? And that's why you've got to stick to your choices, and accept the possibilities that get cut off. Accept that those are no longer open to you. All right? And in my mind, when I see something like this, call me crazy now. Call me crazy, but you can either sell magic potions made from your garden, a garden that's in a sex shop, or you can have a pizzeria. You can't have magic potions made in a sex shop that you sell and also separately have a pizzeria. You've got to pick one. You've got one life path. You have to pick one life path. Right? I mean, a pizzeria is a family establishment. Magic potions are, sex magic potions, especially, less family friendly. I'm watching these cyclists go through this little town, and then they go outside the town, and it's even more like desolate, and it's just their sun is shining, there's these beautiful roads, there's forests all over. There's a guy in a shack living in those forests. Okay, I can accept that. There's a man and a woman who are druids, and they're making magic potions, and they're gonna kill the guy in the shack. I'm just trying to race my bike. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. They initially claimed that Michler had lent them the car while he was on holidays so that they could feed his animals, but their story quickly collapsed. Reported confession. Mr. Schneider reportedly confessed to killing the man, warning investigators, "What I'm going to tell you is horrific." But throughout the investigation, he gave different stories, while Miss Capobassi denies involvement. That bitch. Stand by your man a little bit here, for once. For fucking once, okay? The chef initially claimed that he killed Michler by accident following the dispute. In the latest version, He told the investigating judge that he went to Michler's home to steal cannabis from the property and enlisted the help of a third suspect, Philippe Benrakia, a gravedigger. I can't with this because, you know, Europe will try to portray itself as a modern place sometimes. They will, you know, they'll be like, no, we're modern, we're getting competitive with tech, I guess must have been 6 months ago now. A couple times I ended up sharing a meal with a guy from France in tech. He had worked with one of the biggest French tech companies, and he was telling me all about the services they have and everything, you know, and I'm having this conversation with him. If I knew what I know now after reading this article, I would be like, bro, shut the fuck up. You've got druids making magic potions and making deals with gravediggers in the middle of the night to go kill guys who live in little shacks outside of the castle without any running water. Like, what the fuck are you talking? Don't come to this city, this modern city, and tell me that you're from the tech industry. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? You druid ass gravedigger bitch. What are you? No, he was a lovely guy, actually. I got along great with him. But god damn. I mean, this is like, I've been in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign where we where we were like walking around with our magic potions in the middle of the night trying to find a gravedigger to help us murder some guy in the woods. I mean, what is going on with this? They're not a good people. This is Greenland. If you're listening to this, you can't be associated with a continent like this. It's embarrassing. At a certain point, it gets embarrassing. Okay, got to join the winning team. All right. I mean, I guess that's really it. I mean, Mr. Schneider told the investigating judge that they tied up their victim and gagged him. After searching the house, he said they found that Michler had died by suffocation. Mr. Benrakia has denied involvement. Everybody's denying involvement. Your gravedigger bro, your wife, everybody. You know, they're not there in the end. They're not there when you need them. They're there when you've got the magic potions. They're not there when the police are involved. It's alleged Mr. Schneider took the body back to his own house, waiting 3 days to, quote, respect the transmigration of the soul, end quote, before dismembering it with a butcher's knife and burning the organs on the spot. Well, hey, you know, I'm a modern person, and I don't believe in these, you know, Christian values and traditions. I've discovered this new beautiful thing. It's a religion more in tune with nature. It's called druidism. It's actually ancient, but we have this modern interpretation of it, and it's actually a beautiful thing in my life. And you know, like a French Catholic would never understand what it is. And oh yeah, what do you do? Like, what's an example of of you practicing that religion? Well, when me and my friend the gravedigger went by and murdered this guy in his house, I waited 3 days to respect the transmigration of his soul before I chopped him into little pieces and took out his organs. Okay, great. Thank you, faggot. Limbs cooked with vegetables. He then returned to the victim's home, where he allegedly cooked the other limbs in large pots with vegetables to mask the odor. Mr. Schneider then lit fires to burn the victim's head, hands, and feet. He told investigators that as he scattered the ashes across his property, he prayed for the salvation of Michler's soul. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. They can sing. They can dance. After all, this is France. And a dinner here is never second best. Flubbed it a little bit, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. I guess we'll wrap it up by talking about Biden getting prostate cancer. Now, a prostate is something, I don't know if any of you guys are doctors out there. You guys heard of a prostate? You know what a prostate is? So a prostate is something, this is why when people say that that being gay isn't something that you choose, it's something that you're born with. There's a physiological reason for that. So I wanted to explain. It's because some men are born with what's called a prostate, and a prostate is a thing that's deep inside your ass that makes you gay. Because if you have one and someone shoves something deep inside your ass to hit your prostate, you could have what's called a prostate orgasm, where you jizz all over yourself, and that's what makes guys gay. So there are guys, normal heterosexual guys like me, who don't have a prostate, and then it's just coming out in the news now that there's people like President Biden, and it turns out, I don't know why this part of the story isn't bigger, but it turns out that he's one of these gay guys who has a prostate. And he's got fucked in his so much that it's like some kind of I guess it's like AIDS. It's like some kind of super cancer in his bones. It's from having so much gay sex and getting fucked. I guess by Obama, probably by Big Mike, by Michelle. And it's just like, it's years and years, day in and day out, and now he's gonna die. What I hate the most about this is people who were like, I hate Biden and he's evil and he's destroying the country, but I'm gonna be nice about him having prostate cancer. And I get it a little bit, because you don't want the druid gods to strike you down and give you prostate cancer. But of course, if you're heterosexual, you don't have a prostate, so that's impossible. It's nothing to really worry about. Maybe you're worried about the gods turning you gay and then giving you prostate cancer. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not going to say I hope he dies in agony, but I don't think he was like a good person. And I saw some some political cartoon of him showing him dealing with the death of his son and with Hunter in rehab and all these tragedies in his life, and then getting the cancer news, and it was like look how dignified he is. What a decent, dignified man. He is not a decent, dignified man. He's an evil liar and an idiot, and an ambitious guy who wanted lots and lots of power and did lots and lots of bad things to get it. And now he's got the gay ass cancer, and he's going to die. I mean, I understand not jumping up and down, because the next day, your gay dad could get prostate cancer, I guess. But at the same time, you don't need to be well, my thoughts go out. What are you talking about? I mean, you could just be silent about it, I guess. But you could also have some fun with it. I mean, he is a piece of shit and he's going to die now. So have a little fun. I mean, even if you're inviting curses upon yourself, I mean, sometimes it's worth it, right? Because fuck that guy. Yeah, also Scott Adams announced the same thing. Now, that was really shocking to me. I didn't even know Scott was gay. I knew that he had a really, really sexy, hot, super young wife for like a few years, and then I guess she left him. It's kind of sad. I liked Scott Adams, kind of. He was fine. I read his Win Bigly book when it came out in 2016 after that first election, I think. And I thought it was fine. It was very light reading. It was intended to be. I remember growing up reading Dilbert. Like, I would actually, I'm 36. I grew up in like the 90s, and my parents would get the Sunday paper. Like every Sunday they'd get the paper, and there'd be the funnies, the cartoons in there, and I would read them, and Dilbert was there. I remember liking Dilbert, and then finding out that Scott Adams guy, was doing other things, when I got older and all that. And I remember, you remember that app Periscope? I downloaded Periscope and watched one or two of those coffee videos he did. I mean, I think he kept doing them long past the date of Periscope. I think he maybe still does them on X now. And that was kind of sad. I am a little bummed out about that. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't even know that Scott was gay. I didn't know President Biden was gay, but anyway, if you are gay and you're getting fucked in the prostate, I hope it's worth it. I hope your prostate orgasms are worth it. And when you're in your 60s or your 80s and you're dying of ass cancer, you just you remember the good times that you had. All right, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.